Now, a gala of what, you may be asking? A gala of hope. Right now, where so much seems to be going wrong across the world. In my own home region of Southeast Asia and South Asia, a wave of deadly storms and typhoons are sweeping across the land, more furious, more frequent, stronger each year, with over 1,000 people with their lives claimed and millions affected. And yet, yes, I am telling you, there is hope. There is hope as long as people, communities, governments are seeing environmental problems and decide not to look away, decide to act, decide to find solutions. And this is the spirit which we are coming together tonight. We will be discovering and celebrating 8 such solutions that give us hope, 5 new champions of the earth, and 3 new UN World Restoration flagships. With this, let us take you on a journey across our beautiful planet. Join me in welcoming UNEP's Executive Director, Inger Anderson, to the stage as she hands out this year's Champions of the Earth Awards, which are carved from oak, a symbol of resilience and strength, and show how concentric circles, like rings of a tree, or the ripple effects created by true environmental leadership. Once again, please give a warm welcome to Inger Anderson.
Thank you very much, and a warm welcome. You are in the magic hour. This is the hour when the sun just gently sets over the horizon in this magnificent spot on the equator, where we are one with nature, and you will see the colors out there in the west as the sun sets turn orange and then dark. If you listen carefully, you can hear the monkeys settle into their nests at night with a few grunts. And if you listen even more carefully, you can hear the frogs on their reproduction duty. The point here is that we are in a beautiful spot on nature. And we understand when we are in a place like this, how deep it is, how meaningful it is to our lives. But as we also know, and we just came back from Belém, we know that we are not going as fast as we must on climate. We understand that the emissions gap report tells us that if we do not do more, the NDCs that we handed in Belém takes us to 2.3 to 2.6 degrees by 2100. That's not a place we want to be. The emissions gap and our modelings also tells us that we are we are going to cross the 1.5 goal. And then within the next decade, and the question is, how fast can we bend it? And this is why this evening we're looking at solutions. And this is why this evening we're celebrating those who are leaders. And this is why this evening is so important. We have celebrated the champions of the earth, something that we humbly refer to as the Nobel Prize for the Environment. We have celebrated this for decades, and I'm looking to my colleagues to tell me how many decades? 20 years. So this is a really meaningful award and something that we do not take lightly. We look long and hard and amazing accomplishments. We look within each category that we celebrate. And I have to tell you that there are amazing accomplishments out there of people who have given their lives to making solutions work in industry, in grassroots level, in science, and in their lifetime. And so when we are marking this 20 years of Champions of the Earth tonight, we are also this evening celebrating 3 new World Restoration flagships who we also honor. And so here, this theme tonight in the Champions of the Earth is climate change and climate solutions. And that's what we're gonna hear about right here. Because tonight we celebrate leaders from across the world, and we also have the honor to celebrate those whose quiet determination sparked profound change within our own institution, within UNEP. Few, actually none, exemplified this more than our very own Manfred Caltagirone, who passed away earlier this year. Manfredi devoted his career to one of the most urgent climate challenges of our times, cutting methane emissions, the second most powerful greenhouse gas, and the fastest lever that we can pull right now to slow global warming. As a founding head and the person who had the vision to establish UNEP's International Methane Emissions Observatory, IMEO, our Manfredi transformed a vision into a global system for open, reliable, actionable data that would allow us all to strengthen accountability, to watch what is happening, and to hold each other to account inside the oil and gas sector. And thanks to his leadership, governments and companies and communities are better equipped to reduce emissions and protect lives. I am so honored that Manfredi's family is here with us today and that they took the long trip to travel to Nairobi. It is a heavy burden they carry, and you will all understand that. But they carry with them the spirit of Manfredi's work and what shaped his work. And therefore, it is my deepest honor to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Manfred Caltagirone. On behalf of the UNEP family, I thank Manfredi's family for his service to the United Nations, for his service to humanity, for his service to the environment, for being a friend and a mentor to us all, and most of all, for his service to people and planet.
Methane is 80 times more powerful than CO2 in the short term, but it stays in the atmosphere only around 10 years. And so this combination of high potency and short duration really represents an opportunity.
This is so much fun. It's so good to have you here. It is so important that we accelerate.
So my name is Manfred Caltagirone. I'm the head of the International Methane Emissions Observatory that exists to provide open, reliable, and actionable data to those with the agency to reduce emissions.
If we tackle methane right now, then we can buy ourselves a little bit of time while we do the hard stuff of decarbonization. So methane is super important. Manfredi saw this from the very get-go.
I see Manfredi's legacy as really bringing the power of the UN and combining it with good science to drive change.
This award is a tribute to celebrate the life and legacy of Manfredi and his ability to inspire those around him.
He's probably one of the most distinguished people and most deserving of this award because what he did has global impact and will continue to go on far beyond his life.
Every fraction of a degree matters.
Every fraction of a degree matters. A truly emotional and meaningful evening for all of us. And tonight, we honor a man whose work has changed the global response to one of the most urgent climate challenges of our time, methane. And I was truly deeply saddened to learn about the passing of Manfred Caltagirone earlier this year. But hearing from UNEP colleagues, it is clear that his influence lives on in the systems he built, the people he mentored, and the global momentum he helped ignite. It is incredibly special to have his wife, Pilar, his children, his family, and members of the community here with us. Thank you for sharing Manfredi with us. Let's give them one more heartfelt round of applause. Now we turn to an impact that every single one of us has felt. heat, heat. And tonight we are truly blessed and lucky to have such a cool and beautiful evening. But across the world, temperatures are rising very fast. And of course, the wind comes right on cue. Mother Nature is listening. I love it. Well, 2024 was the hottest year ever recorded, but before that it was 2023 and the year before that. And the decade from 2015 to 2024, the 10 hottest years in human history. Guys, we are breaking all the wrong records, and tonight it's time to celebrate solutions. So I am super excited to welcome our next champion of the earth to the stage. From India, she has shown how communities can keep cool without warming the planet, protecting lives, protecting nature, and proving that climate leadership can be deeply humane and deeply practical. Please welcome this year's champion of the earth for inspiration and action, Supria Sahu.
With full force in cooling down the heat, intense phenomena that we face nowadays.
It should come down by about 3 to 5%.
Yes, wait.
No?
These vulnerabilities are something that need to be handled immediately. And we have an opportunity to do so. The world needs the kind of resilience which we need to learn from the wild world. You cannot see these two things separately. We need a 360-degree change. We need a paradigm shift in climate change. If we are able to implement cooling initiatives effectively, it will help vulnerable communities.
Very good.
A beautiful opportunity to not only rebound, but perhaps create. Every fraction of a degree matters.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, UNEP, for this incredible honor. I never imagined that one day I would stand on this global stage. I accept this award with deep humility on behalf of my team, whose work has brought me here, and on behalf of the people of Tamil Nadu, India, my country, whose love and support has shaped my journey. 23 years ago, as young collector, in the Nilgiris district, I saw elephants and tigers foraging through plastic, born of human carelessness. And during the 2004 tsunami, as a special officer in one of the districts, I saw the miracle of mangroves shielding villages in the vicinity. From these moments, I learned a simple truth. Nature protects those who protect her. And that's why we are doing everything in our power for nature. As a government officer, I understand that governments have a crucial role to lead in climate change. But real change begins when people lead. Climate action has to be a people's movement. The window is still open. We can still do it. Let's stand united and make climate action a powerful people's movement. I owe this award to some incredible people in my life. My mother, to whom I owe everything, including the sari that I'm wearing, supporter, and my unwavering pillar of strength. My son, who's my silent but strongest supporter, my sisters, family, and my friends. I thank the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu for his leadership on climate action and for giving me this lifetime opportunity to serve in the sector I'm so passionate about. Tamil Nadu, a state that has always been ahead of its time. And before I conclude, I leave you with a timeless Tirukural written by Saint Tiruvalluvar thousands of years ago. And it says, Pagutundu Pallu Uir Ombudal, Nulor Toguttu Batrul Ellan Talai. Which says, the first of virtues in every creed is to share your food and resources and cherish and conserve all life. Thank you, namaste, vanakkam. Thank you again.
Thank you once again, Supria Sahu, champion of the earth, for inspiration and action. And now, if we talk about climate change, there is a sector whose impact often surprises people. And I actually would not have guessed it, but I would like to see if any of you might have some good guesses. So according to a new report, this sector accounts for 32% of global energy consumption and 34% of carbon dioxide emissions. All right, can I hear some voices? Any guesses from the audience? Please feel free to shout them out. I'm sorry? Transport. That's funny. Somebody said that earlier when I was asking them to guess. Transport. Any other guesses? Agriculture. That's another good one. Hearing some good guesses. How about on this side? Manufacturing. Well, guess what it is? It's actually none of those, but those are also really, really high emitting. It is the building and construction sector. Wow, believe it or not. And here's the beautiful twist. Now, the same sector actually holds some of the most inspiring solutions. Now, our next champion blends tradition and innovation to transform how we build. Using local materials like earth and clay, she creates modern spaces that are naturally cool, up to 10 degrees cooler without air conditioning, and deeply rooted in cultural identity. Her work is reshaping architecture across the Sahel and showing the world what climate resilient, affordable, and beautiful design looks like. Please welcome to the stage, champion of the earth for entrepreneurial vision, Mariam Issoufou.
Climate is always the first thing we think about in every context we build and in every context we design for. This is a phenomenal opportunity for African architects to really make a sizable contribution, I think, to the architectural world in general. If we continue building without paying attention to place, without paying attention to sustainability and the environment, what will happen is an acceleration of the climate crisis. I've had maybe the reverse trajectory compared to many, where I basically took a firm that was headquartered in Africa and now opening offices in other parts of the world. I hope in the future that this approach to architecture, this view of architecture as a tool for social good becomes not only common, but becomes the norm. Every fraction of a degree matters.
Good evening. I have to say, I'm not really prepared for a speech. I feel incredibly overwhelmed, grateful, humbled by this incredible opportunity. I was just reflecting earlier about my reaction when I first received the email about this honor, and my disbelief. I did not even realize the work we were doing was something that a body as important as the UN even paid attention to. And I think as I'm accepting this award today, what I'm left with is the thought that awards such as these ones, you know, the sort of platform it provides for the kind of work we do is what fills me with hope. When we talk about sustainability and when we talk about climate change, for me, this is something that really hits close to home in a very intimate manner. I grew up in the middle of the desert, where it's 45 degrees, you know, year-round. Temperature and harsh climates are something that was part of my entire life and the life of all of my country women and countrymen. And when I see how climate change is still sometimes debatable, in some parts of the world, unfortunately, but then at the same time reflect on the fact that in countries such as mine, climate emergency and climate refugees even are a fact of our lives for the past 20 years already. I'm grateful for the kind of spotlight you are putting on this work. And when I talk about environmental sustainability and I talk about carbon emissions, I also want to point out the fact that as we're working on sustainability from a carbon emission point of view, to also understand that for us, the projects we have been able to do, my team and I and my collaborators and I, have been successful and have been able to put out in the world the kinds of examples we put out because they were not just about construction. They were not just about carbon emissions. They were about people, they were about economies, they were about empowerment, and they were about equity. It was really about thinking through sustainability as an intersectional issue, as something that actually touches on different aspects that are incredibly important in our lives, about social justice, about really empowering in such a way that the environment itself then comes out winning on the other hand. So thank you again for this award. I am truly, truly honored. And this gives me so much more strength to continue and move forward. And I will take this to my team, both in Niger, where I'm from, in New York, in Switzerland, and to my collaborators, without whom I would never be able to do this. And I know I'm supposed to wrap up, but I would also like to dedicate this award to my wonderful daughter, who I look at every day. She is 16 years old, and through which I think about the future and the kind of planet that we're leaving for her generation and how she encourages me to continue this fight. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to our champion of the earth for entrepreneurial vision, Mariam Issoufou. Now, there's been one topic that's been on almost everyone's mind these past years, and the innovations and breakthroughs in this area just go on and on. And I'm talking, of course, about AI, or artificial intelligence. Now, without a doubt, AI has an environmental impact. And I learned that one ChatGPT request uses 10 times more electricity than a Google search, and the AI infrastructure could soon consume 6 times more water than Denmark. Now, just wow. Did you guys know that? I was super surprised as well. And on the other hand, though, of course, AI can also have a positive impact on the environment by giving us better data and helping us make decisions faster. AI can help us analyze maps and even soil health from space. So it's wonderful to have an organization here tonight that embodies this possibility. Amazon is using AI to monitor and forecast deforestation in the Amazon basin, helping protect one of the Earth's greatest treasures and the planet's climate system. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ritao Maria and Dr. Carlos from Amazon, our new champion of the Earth for science and innovation.
De mostrar que a gente sabe, nós temos nas mãos a melhor oportunidade de mostrar que a gente sabe preservar a Amazônia, porque é um patrimônio mundial, ele tem que ser preservado para a regulação do clima, tem que ser preservado para a manutenção da biodiversidade, para o fortalecimento das populações locais. O Amazon é um instituto de pesquisa que está aqui na Amazônia há 35 anos.
Tudo que a gente faz é dado aberto, ciência aberta, tudo bem. A inteligência artificial, ela trouxe mais agilidade e precisão para a extração de informação dos dados do satélite, para que a gente tenha informação ainda mais precisa sobre o futuro próximo da Amazônia e tentar evitar essa degradação florestal.
E juntos, mesmo com passos lentos, a gente pode alcançar os nossos objetivos.
Cada fração de grau importa.
Good evening, everyone. Wow, it's a really great night. Thank you so much for this award. For 35 years, we have worked to conserve and to sustain the Amazon. Amazon uses science and to find nature-based solutions for socioeconomic development of the region, and also to stop deforestation and forest land degradation. We work to ensure that the people who live in the forest are listened and respected. Our deepest gratitude goes to all Amazon's researchers and collaborators who are watching now on the streaming, and also our funders, and without them, we would not be here. They brought us to this moment. Thank you very much. And special thanks and gratitude I have to say, I have to send to our co-founder and to our mentor, Dr. Chris Wu, who sadly passed this year, but he left a lasting legacy teaching us the importance of perseverance and truth, always guided by science. We are people believing in science, and while the Amazon needs us, we will be there to find good solutions for the nature. Thank you.
Good evening. I'll be short, just to reinforce that we are very proud of receiving this award and committed to share the technology and knowledge that we develop in the Amazon region to other tropical forest countries. I use satellite imagery to detect deforestation, forest degradation, but these are great technology, but when we detect those problems, the forests are gone, the biodiversity are gone, and we have more carbon in the atmosphere. That's why we built this forecast system based on AI to try to get there before deforestation. There is a great opportunity with the Forest Forever facility, Tropical Forest Forever facility, and we will do our best to make this global policy a reality because we have the knowledge, we have the tools we need to do this right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much once again. Keeping the momentum going. Congratulations to our champions of the earth. And now there is nobody, we need to emphasize that there is nobody that is going to feel the impact of climate change as much as our children, the coming generations, and even today's generation. And so if we think about the impact we are having, that you are having on the climate as negotiators, as UNEP delegates, or in our everyday lives, we think about them, the children. But make no mistake, young people are standing up for themselves already and making their voices heard. And with that, can I hear the voices of the young people here tonight? Can I hear a woo? I knew it. I knew that would be loud and proud. And I'm personally so energized. Well, there are probably a lot of young at hearts as well. And I'm personally so energized and inspired by the actions of our next champions of the earth. Now, they are a group of young people that took climate change to the world's highest court, the International Court of Justice, and won. They reminded the world that climate action is not optional. It is a legal, moral, and generational responsibility. They reminded the world that truly the youth are leading us into the future. Representing the Pacific Island students fighting climate change, please welcome Cynthia Hunuhi, champion of the earth for policy and leadership.
I stand before you not as an individual, but as the living embodiment of the voices of all people, past, present, and future.
When you look at the Pacific, climate crisis is not just a climate crisis, it's a human rights crisis.
After a group of Pacific students were able to bring the world's biggest problem to the world's highest,
the world's top court, the UN's
International Court of
International
Justice.
Court of Justice, or ICJ. Coming to the ICJ was not something that we took lightly. It was because we're looking at every possible alternative to address it. I said, why not we take on this initiative? Let's choose the most ambitious one.
The court is of the opinion that states have a duty to prevent significant harm to the environment.
We needed direction as a world. We needed clarity as a world. This is just the beginning. Every fraction of a degree matters. Good evening, everyone. Oh, this is overwhelming. I apologize. First of all, thank you for giving me more tools for my luggage space. I've traveled very far, and I'm just looking at the award and thinking, how do I bring that back with all my clothes? Thank you, first of all, to the organizers of the award, and also to the nominators as well. And congratulations to my fellow champions. I did not prepare any speech, but I'll try to use my 1 minute wisely. It is with great honor, humility, and a sense of responsibility that we do justice to the values of this award that I accept this award on behalf of my team that are not able to be here but are with me in spirit. Our story is a story of hope, a powerful belief that coupled with hard work, determination, and passion can bring about transformational change. It is also a story of collective effort. This award does not belong to only us, but many organizations, individuals, and people behind this award. And so I would like to take this moment to share our heartfelt gratitude and highlight them. First of all, the 27 law students and our professors who started this journey in our classroom at the University of the South Pacific 6 years ago. To the civil society partners that partner with us to realize our goal. To the government of Vanuatu and other visionary governments that help us realize our goal as well. And to the youths and the young people from not just the Pacific, but around the world. They were able to unite under one campaign and one journey. Thank you to all of them. A special appreciation as well goes especially to the Pacific community in different capacity and roles they played. They walk alongside us for 6 years to help us realize our goal. The work is not yet done. We need your help. This is the advice and opinion from the highest court in the world. It is now upon us to do our part. What is your contribution? This may be ours, but we're in this together and we need your help. So thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.
Congratulations to our champion of the earth for policy and leadership, Cynthia Hunuhi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on, we are truly grateful to welcome to the stage the wife of Manfred Caltagirone, Lifetime Achievement Awardee Pilar, to share a message with all of us. Please give her a warm welcome.
Thank you so much. I only wanted to say thanks to UNEP, to the UN, to Inger, for this award. Manfred would have been extremely proud. He dedicated his life to working to fight climate change, and over the past 7 years, he was really passionate to fight methane and to reduce methane emissions. He would talk about methane every day, not only at work, with friends, at lunch, with family. So he really was doing his work also out of office hours. Thank you to all of you that work on these issues within the UN, outside, NGOs, governments, because your work is so important for the rest of the people. And then I only just have one ask for all the team in IMEO, and it is to carry on with the same energy and passion that you do. Julia, Steve, Daniel, Roland, Pooja, to all of you, thank you. We've been feeling you very closely, the whole family, all these last months. And I know you will continue your work because I've seen your passion for it, but I will just add to keep Manfred in mind as you carry on. Thank you.
Thank you, Pilar, for that heartfelt message. And of course, we always will honor the incredible work of Manfred Caltagirone. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for this year's Champions of the Earth. Show them your love. We're only halfway through this evening in hope, and I don't know about you, but isn't it so refreshing to see all these individuals and organizations driving real solutions for a resilient planet? Now imagine what we can all do if we can come together, individuals, civil society, governments, and just set our mind to leaving a better planet for everyone, including those that come after us. Now, if we can see a better vision for our planet, for our landscapes and ocean, and if we believe in that vision, then we can truly make it happen. And as the late Jane Goodall has said, what gives me hope are our clever brains and the indomitable human spirit. And that is what the UN World Restoration Flagships is all about. And of course, we are deeply grateful to continue the momentum of climate action all the way to World Environment Day 2026, hosted by the beautiful country of Azerbaijan. And we are honored to acknowledge the presence of the Deputy Minister of Ecology and Natural Resources, Umaya Tagieva. Let's put our hands together. We are also honored to acknowledge the presence of a UN World Restoration Flagship winner from earlier this year at the UN Ocean Conference. And tonight, we have with us the Minister of Environment from Spain, Sara Agassen, for their initiative Mar Menor. Let's put our hands together. And now, friends and heroes of our Earth, I am honored to invite Susan Gardner, UNEP's Director of the Ecosystems Division, to the stage to tell us more about the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration and to present the first UN Restoration Flagship Award of the evening. Please also pay attention to our beautiful awards as they are made of baobab seeds and recycled wood. Now, baobab seeds can stay dormant underground for a very long time. There are even reports of baobab laying underground for 20 years before trees actually grew from them. So they are truly a beautiful symbol of restoration and regeneration. Please give a warm welcome once again to Susan Gardner.
Well, thank you so much, Antoinette. What a night. I think you put it best when you just said, wow, just wow. I mean, it's incredible, the champions that we have celebrated tonight. And these stories that we've heard, I know all of us are deeply moved. And I hope we remember that feeling of inspiration, because this is a perfect inspiration to take us forward collectively together. And it's this perfect inspiration to now turn to that unstoppable movement that helps us to make peace with nature, that helps us to rebuild what we've lost. Of course, it's the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. And when we talk about restoration, it's because nature holds our lives together in ways that far too often we just overlook. Over half of the global economy depends on nature. 3/4 of all of our food relies on pollinators. 1 billion people depend on coral reefs for their livelihoods. The UN Decade, proudly co-led with UNEP and FAO together, holds very bold goals: ending poverty, combating climate change, preventing mass extinction through large-scale, community-driven restoration. And from that ambition, something really powerful has emerged. Our Generation Restoration, with more than 300 partners all stepping forward because they see what's at stake and they want to be part of the solution. So, to honor that spirit, we have the privilege to shine a light on some of the world's most impressive restoration efforts. These UN World Restoration Flagships. So far, there's 27 flagships that have been recognized, and together they aim to restore almost 70 million hectares. They've already created more than 600,000 jobs and trained over 1 million people. These are families. These are families earning new income. These are communities finding new pride and coming back, bringing nature back to life. And so, are we ready to celebrate the first flagship? Yeah? All right, well, it's a great pleasure and a great honor to introduce the first UN World Flagship for tonight that truly brings back life to an ecosystem that is far too often overlooked. It unites more than 60 initiatives and rebuilds resilient soils, stores of carbon, is providing fodder for drought. It's actually protecting habitat where rhinos and elephants can thrive. So this first flagship award of this evening goes to the Thicket Restoration in South Africa. Congratulations, Minister. May I please invite you to come up to the stage with me.
In the past 150 years, this landscape has undergone widespread degradation.
Alles is gechanged. Die jaar is 2025. Die weather is gechanged. Levensomstandighede is gechanged.
5 years back was almost like dust. You have this big animal, they need to eat. And then all of a sudden there's no rain.
It's less sustainable to farm every year because the droughts are getting more extreme, so it's just killing the bush here.
Degraded systems, you find that water and nutrients just kind of move through it.
With drought, I've seen farmers reducing their carrying capacities, like their livestock and the farms. Circular type thing. Environment, jobs, people, happiness.
In a search to find ways to restore this degraded land, SpecBoom emerged as the most efficient tool.
Accepting on behalf of Mamogala Musekene is the minister, and we are truly grateful. Congratulations for our first UN Restoration Flagship Award.
Thank you, and I'm not the minister, I'm in big shoes tonight. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, it is quite an honor for me to receive this award on behalf of the people that are working in the trenches, ordinary women and men that are helping us to restore our environment. I'm standing in for Minister, he couldn't be here. Honorable Willem Okamp, he requested that I accept this on his behalf. In line with our whole of government, whole of society approach, this award belongs to the people that are in the trenches, those that are restoring South Africa's thicket landscapes every day, from the men, the women that are nurturing those SpecBoom cuttings that you've just witnessed, community nurseries, those that are working with the teams in challenging weather conditions, the scientists, the farmers, rangers, young people, they continue to stand for our land. Thicket restoration is not glamorous. There are no red carpets, but it is a heroic action. It is climate action, biodiversity protection, drought resilience, and livelihood improvement woven together by ordinary people
doing extraordinary things. Tonight, we celebrate their hope and their hard work. Allow me to thank all the initiatives who are part of this Thicket restoration movement, the Restoring Landscapes in South Africa, Relisa Project, UNEP, development partners that are present tonight, and every person that is helping to breathe life back into our landscapes. On behalf of South Africa and its people, thank you, and we are honored. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, I'd love to hear your beautiful voices once again. So let's try this out real quickly. When I say generation, you say restoration. I knew you knew that already. Here we go. Let's try the left side first. Everybody over here, generation. How about over here to the right, generation. Ooh, I love it. And everybody together now, generation. All right. Now, did you know that today, the 10th of December, is not only the day that we announce the new UN Champions of the Earth and World Restoration Flagships, but more than 20 years ago, on the 10th of December, 2024, the late Wangari Maathai was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her ecosystem restoration work, and she was the first African woman to do so. Famously, she often quoted one of my favorite African proverbs: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Yes, exactly. And it is the same with these big global efforts. And this is why the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration brings together more than 300 partners. And this is led together by UNEP and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. I am now pleased to invite Tina Vahanen from FAO to the stage to present our second UN World Restoration Flagship of the evening. Let's give her a warm round of applause.
Thank you, Antoine, and can I just join Susan to say, wow, it's a wonderful evening. And it's getting dark, but we are still in the middle of this celebration and continue. So it's my pleasure to introduce the second World Flagship today. So the World Restoration Flagships are ambitions, science-based examples of restoration in action. But they are also a proof on how restoring ecosystems can strengthen the connection between people and nature. So that's why I'm so excited to announce the next new flagship that really puts the human-nature connection front and center. This flagship highlights a powerful story of collaboration between the government and indigenous and local communities to heal ecological and cultural relationships that were broken. And it focuses on revival of one animal that holds a sacred place for indigenous communities in this country. The animal is salmon, and the country is Canada. This flagship is helping to revive salmon populations in 7 national parks along Canada's Pacific and Atlantic coasts. As our very first flagship from North America, I have the pleasure to announce the next new UN World Restoration Flagship called Respectful Returns in Canada. So it's my great pleasure to invite His Excellency Joshua Tabach, Canada's High Commissioner for Kenya, to join me on this stage to accept this award.
Atlantic salmon sustained our Aboriginal people for thousands and thousands of years. They're always fighting for survival.
There's been a sharp decline in the 90s and since that time on the salmon populations.
It makes me angry when I walk the river. What can they tell their children? That it's soon going to be gone?
This population was listed as endangered under the Species at Risk Act in Canada, and that motivated action to do more than just monitoring, but to actually restore the population and try and avoid extinction.
When we were first putting the team together, it was very clear to all of us that Western science didn't have all the answers.
From day one, working with Fort Folly First Nation, we see these problems together.
We're a small community, but we're very mighty and we care about the environment. By bringing the salmon back, we know it's going to sustain our people.
We didn't come to the table knowing what we needed to do. We came to the table knowing where we wanted to go. I feel privileged to be part of an ecological story that is better now than it was 20 years ago.
As Aboriginal people, we see and realize how important it is to take care of the salmon and make them the king of the fish again.
Congratulations once again to our winners from Canada for the second UN World Restoration Flagship.
Excellencies, delegates, award winners are so impressive. It is a great honor to accept, on behalf of the Government of Canada and 30 partners, including 6 First Nations, this World Restoration Flagship Award that recognizes our contributions to salmon population restoration in Canada. This award reflects our commitment to restoring ecosystems and repairing relationships that sustain life. Adaptive management, learning, innovating, and refining techniques can truly build resilience and enable nature to recover. Canada has achieved success with salmon recovery by leveraging Indigenous knowledge and science. We see these efforts as a global model for how people can unite for biodiversity, for climate resilience, and for reconciliation, creating hope for future generations. Let me extend a warm thank you to all our partners in Canada who work together with trust and respect, as well as to the broader UNEP family for recognizing that ecological restoration is a shared responsibility. This award inspires us to keep moving forward, to deepen collaboration, to accelerate restoration, and to nurture a healthier planet. Thank you.
I truly love it so much when blue ecosystems shine. And of course, I'm from the Philippines, so I grew up surrounded by the Philippine seas. And so when I first heard about ecosystem restoration, I also thought about tree planting, and that is very important. I do love mangroves so much. But our blue ecosystems, our rivers, our wetlands, and oceans are in need of repair too. So I am super thrilled to ask my personal hero and UNEP's patron of the ocean, Lewis Pugh, to the stage to introduce to us a marine ecosystem that many of you may not have had on their radar. Please give a warm welcome to UNEP's patron of the ocean, Lewis Pugh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It's absolutely wonderful to be here today. As you know, I serve as the UN Environment Patron of the Oceans, but I'm also an endurance swimmer. And I swim in the most fragile ecosystems in the world, and afterwards I try to get them protected. And so this program really does resonate with me. As an athlete, you know how important your kidneys are to you. They filter your blood, they get rid of toxins, and they keep the balance in your life. And this is also what shellfish do. They're the kidneys of the oceans. And if you don't have shellfish, you simply don't have a healthy ocean. And so it gives me great pleasure to hand out the final award this evening to the Shellfish Reef Building Program in Australia. Would Katrina Maguire and Laura Gallagher please join me on stage to receive this award?
In Australia, we're definitely seeing the impacts of a changing climate. We're getting more bushfires and marine heat waves in our ocean environment. Here most recently, a really devastating algal bloom that has resulted in thousands, if not millions, of dead fish.
Planting trees, restoration or revegetation on land is well established. Restoring habitat in the water is just as important.
It's estimated that about 99% of oyster reefs were destroyed here.
I like to think of oysters as ecological superheroes. One large oyster can filter about a bathtub of water a day.
There is no quick fix to the algal bloom, but we need to invest in coastal resilience to make sure that we can recover from biodiversity loss.
You know, where you have oyster habitat, there's a lot of species that can live. If you lose the oysters, everything's gone.
If we're putting in millions of these lost oysters, we're essentially putting back the water filter back into the marine environment and allowing the ocean to continue to clean itself. Nature has an incredible ability to recover and repair itself. We just got to give the ocean the opportunity.
Everyone, my name's Lara Gallagher. I have the pleasure of leading the incredible team at TNC, the Nature Conservancy in Australia. It's an absolute honour to receive this award. It doesn't belong to me, it belongs to my team that worked tirelessly on this incredible project. This recognition is also shared with our partners, the communities that we restore the reefs in, and the traditional owners whose wisdom has guided this project. We need our supporters to make this happen, so a very special mention to David Thomas from the Thomas Foundation, whose early vision and support led us to Reef Builder. We've had a tremendous amount of support from the state governments and of course the Australian federal government, who stands alongside me this evening. Together we've restored 21 reefs across Australia's southern coast, and we're showing that nature-based solutions can strengthen communities and restore ecosystems. Australia's lost 98% of these shellfish reefs, and we've restored 21, but we have a huge ambition to restore 30% by 2030. We've done a lot, but we've got so much more to do. So this recognition as a flagship puts a spotlight on the work and will allow us to do this at scale. So on that note, I'm going to pass over to my wonderful partner representing the Australian Government, Katrina Maguire. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. It is quite overwhelming to be amongst people who have achieved so much and are so dedicated. Full credit goes to the Nature Conservancy and all the people they've worked with to deliver this project. But I also would like to call out the public servants who don't often get recognised for the work they do and the drive and passion they have to find these projects that can really have impact. And so I do want to call them out. And this project, as you saw with the harmful algal bloom we're experiencing in South Australia at the moment, it's on a scale we've never seen in Australia. And so the potential of projects like Reef Builder to build resilience to our ecosystems is huge, and this is just the beginning of a wave of restoration across Australian waters. So thank you very much.
Congratulations once again to our awardees from Australia for their World Restoration Flagships. Now, truly, their success is what gives me, and I think all of us here, hope. And once again, let's put our hands together for this evening's Champions of the Earth and World Restoration Flagships. We want to remind you all, by the way, that this is not the end of this evening. We have a special special, exciting performance coming right up. And we also have a DJ set live by DJ Tom Toss in just a bit. So please stay tuned. But before we move on to our next program point, which will also be very special and exciting, we would like to invite all of our winners and honorees to the stage for a family photo. May we kindly invite, of course, Miss Susan Gardner, Tina Vahanen, Louis Pugh, Champions of the Earth winners, and of course our World Restoration Flagship winners to please join us on stage. We are also honored to invite the family of our Lifetime Achievement Awardee, Manfred Caltagirone, to the stage. We would also like to invite our Ministers of Environment to please join us on stage in honoring this beautiful and meaningful moment of our champions and flagships for our Earth. And to everyone in the audience, we kindly invite you all to share these meaningful moments through your social media channels. Spread the word, spread the inspiration, and spread the hope. And of course, together we always say generation restoration begins with each and every one of us. Let's put our hands together for this year's Champions of the Earth and World Restoration Flagships. Woo! And of course, don't forget to share your posts with hashtag UNEA7 and hashtag Champions of the Earth. And as you saw them holding, we also have what I had made everybody chant earlier, which is hashtag Generation. I love it. Everybody's still with us. And speaking of making our voices loud and proud, I am now truly excited and proud to invite to the stage my dear sister queen, Frida Amani. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Now, Frida and I met at the recent UNEA 6, and truly I was so excited to hear that she was appointed the very first advocate for ecosystem restoration. I feel like I'm trying to speak like you now. You're already infecting me with your beautiful energy.
It's the hip-hop.
And of course, tonight she is going to lend her talent and voice to our global mission. Are you guys excited?
Are you guys ready? Are we ready to have a good time?
All right. I'm going to leave you on stage, Frida. You got this, girl.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our sister queen, Frida Amani.
So if you love hip-hop, this is for you. Yeah. Give me some love. Hey, yeah. Everybody. Who is a queen if I follow me? Who is a queen if I follow me? Who is a queen if I follow me? If I follow me, if I follow me. Who is a queen if I follow me? Who is a queen if I follow me? Who is a queen if I follow me? If I follow me. Hey. Let me introduce myself again. I'm a queen. Where I came from is madness. I carry heavy dreams. My tummy making kings, and I am a woman. I am a queen. Latina boy Martini. Greatness ni mimi ukiniona unaona nini? Unapologetic myself naona nini? Say power. Straight out of ghetto for so many brothers crazy. Now we here, so many black toes, but they couldn't stop me. We, us, queens, now we here, so I'm stepping on their toes. They don't like it. Green moves, making moves, they can no pose. In my lane, making move, I'm sticking to my goals. Green moves, making moves, they can no pose. In my lane, making move, I'm sticking to my. Who is a queen if I follow me? Who is a queen if I follow me? Who is a queen if I follow me? If I follow me, if I follow me. Say, who is a queen if I follow me? Who is a queen if I follow me? Who is a queen if I follow me? the sun only shines. A queen from Africa with power in my mind, strength in my blood, courage in my heart. Leading with pride, I've been royal from the start. Walking in the footstep of those can be me. Carrying their spirits, I'm ready to roar. Africa's daughter, stand tall and true. A queen on a mission, nothing I can do. So they scare me. Wisdom in my soul like stars in the skies. Building my empire with love and grace. Queen from the motherland, leaving my trace. Power in my voice and strength in my hand. Guided by God, so I walk this land. From the plains to the mountains, my reign will last. A queen from Africa, embracing my boss. Everybody say, who is a queen if I me? Let me hear. Who is a queen if I say it? Who is a queen if I me? If I me? If I me? Say, who is a queen if I me? Who is a queen if I me? Who is a queen if I me? If I me? If I Mother Nature's the queen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up once again for Frida Amani from Tanzania. Now, before we continue, I would just like to tell you guys a little bit more about that song. So this is actually coming out. It's a brand new song, and it's going to be launched publicly in January of next year. And of course, it is called Queen, because isn't Mother Nature the real queen? Once again, thank you, Frida Amani, for all the incredible work on ecosystem restoration. Thank you. Now, we sure need many more Fridas in the world, and of course, many more of our youth like here this evening to build a generation restoration and a positive movement for planet Earth. Now, this movement would not go far, however, if it did not also include governments. Now, under the UN World Restoration Flagships, there are now over 30 countries restoring 68 million hectares worldwide by 2030. Now, perhaps our next speaker can tell us more about the country's motivation for ecosystem restoration. Please welcome to the stage Elke Steinmetz, head of the Division for International Biodiversity Cooperation from Germany's Environment Ministry. Germany, together with Denmark, is one of the main donors behind the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. Let's give her a warm round of applause.
Thank you and good evening, dear colleagues, dear friends. It's a great honor for me to be here and speak to you on behalf of my minister who could not be here tonight. Actually, I feel myself being a restorationist. I felt like this from the very beginning. I started my professional career, and I was very privileged to be in the very first moment when the UN Decade for Ecosystem Restoration started. I was privileged to be in the group of people that had this idea and that came up with this idea both to governments, to the UN, and successfully set it on stage. Let me tell you just one moment from this very beginning, because I think this is the reason you were asking for, why we are so engaged. When I told my state secretary back then about the idea of a UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, he said very wisely, I cannot think of a better topic for a decade, and I cannot think of another topic. And he didn't mean, of course, that he has no idea. What he meant was that there's nothing that deserves more attention than ecosystem restoration now, because it's timely to combat biodiversity loss, climate change, and land degradation. There cannot be another UN decade than that one. So we started with a lot of convincement, not with hope, but with convincement. We started our support for the UN Decade, and it's so fantastic to see how it evolved, and we see that it was a very, very good investment, both from a political side, from a financial side, and also from a personal side, I can tell you. So thank you very much, and I think everyone is in the mood for celebrating and not for hearing closing remarks. So with that, I close. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, Elke Steinmetz. Thank you very much from Germany's Environment Ministry. Now, we've heard a lot tonight about the role of youth and indeed their seat at the table when it comes to decisions shaping their future. We have seen powerful examples of youth advocacy from Cynthia and the Pacific Island students fighting climate change. And it is important to remember that youth also hold solutions, and they are not waiting. Now, please welcome to the stage our final remarks of the evening, Joseph Gutiru, a 2025 Young Champion of the Earth. Give it up.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Generation? I can't hear you. Generation? Oh, good, good. Thank you so much. It's quite an honor to be here. A lot has been said. My name is Joseph Nguthiru. I am the UNEP Young Champion of the Earth. And as young people, there's a lot to celebrate because of all that we've seen here. Not just because of the conservation part, but because of the opportunities and the green jobs that are present here. And tonight we've seen examples of solutions that make this possible. So my question to you all is, are you young people willing to learn the green skills that will enable us to adapt this work, advance it, and even copy it? And generation restoration is more than just about the Gala of Hope. This is the future of our work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much once again, Joseph Gutiru. And we truly went through a wonderful ride of emotions this evening. From remembering a true champion of the earth who sadly passed away and whose legacy lives on and gives us all hope. We learned about the true cost of climate change, but also about the true solutions to this crisis. We took a journey to our planet's frontiers of hope, and we experienced all of this together. Now let's take some time to truly connect. Are you guys ready to connect? Can I hear you again? Generation! Ladies and gentlemen, please join us for food, drinks, and a DJ set by my brother, producer and international DJ, Tom Toss, fusing percussion with electronic dance music. And of course, I've got Elke, Frida, and Joseph to help me in dropping the ball. Here we go. Are you guys ready? Arturo, thank you so much for joining us. You want to come in front so everyone can see you? You ready to throw and toss the ball up? All right, here we go. Let's party for generation. Woo! Restoration. To join us in celebrating the night. Celebrate our champions and heroes and show the world what ecosystem restoration is all about. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for all that you do for people and the planet.
All right, UNEP 7. Are you guys ready to have a good time right now? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, bounce.
your heart, what do you feel? Is it real?
Everybody, come on.